Hi, welcome. Are you thinking about selling your home, but you're not quite sure when the best time is, whether you should buy first or sell first, or how pricing and marketing actually affect your final outcome? These are some of the most common questions that homeowners ask before putting their home on the market. And so today I'm going to walk through a few of those key things that I discuss with my sellers. Because the reality is, selling a home is really just about putting the sign in the yard. The timing, the strategy, and the positioning of your home can make a very real difference in how smoothly your sale goes and what ultimately you walk away with. So let's walk through a few of the questions sellers ask me most often. Hi, my name is Deborah Byer. I'm an associate broker with Remax Results, and I work with buyers and sellers throughout central Minnesota and the greater St. Cloud area. So today I just want to share a quick overview of some seller questions that come up all the time. Now, this isn't meant to cover everything. It's simply meant to get the conversation started. And if you'd like to dive deeper into your own situation, reach out. I would love to hear from you. One of the first questions I almost always hear is, when is the best time to sell? And it sounds like it would be a really big question, but the answer is actually pretty straightforward. The best time to sell is when you're ready to sell. Now, of course, there are seasonal patterns, and typically we see the spring market starting building around late February, going in through the end of April. And then May arrives, and there is Mother's Day, fishing opener, Memorial Day weekend, proms, graduations, and the end of the school year. So that seems to be a pretty busy month, and we tend to see a little bit of dip in activity. June often picks back up, and then July also tends to have a bit of a dip because that is vacation month. I mean, we live in the land of 10,000 lakes, and a lot of families are out enjoying summer. And as fall approaches and kids are going back to school, we often see another shift. But here's the key to remember: real estate markets always ebb and flow. They're influenced by inventory levels, buyer demand, interest rates, weather, and local conditions. Now, many families want to move before fall when school starts. Others are relocating for work, and season doesn't matter to them at all. So the real answer is this: spring may bring more eyeballs, winter may bring less competition, but local market conditions matter far more than the calendar. If your home is priced correctly and positioned well, it will sell in almost any season. I'm curious, you live in Minnesota. When do you think the real estate market feels the busiest? Is it spring, summer, or fall? Drop that in the comments. I'd enjoy getting your perspective. The next question I often hear is, should I sell my home first or buy my next home first? And the reality is, most homeowners are doing both because we all need somewhere to live. If you have the financial ability to purchase first, there are some advantages. You already know where you're going next. There's less pressure to move quickly, and showings on your current home are much easier because you're not living there anymore. Your home stays clean, staged, and ready for the buyers. The flip to that is, if you still have a mortgage in your current home, you are now going to have a temporary period of 2 mortgage payments. And if the market shifts or your home sells for less than anticipated, that could cause stress. The other option is selling first. And when you sell first, you know exactly what your budget is for the next home. There's no question. You avoid overlapping mortgages, and you're often in a stronger negotiating position when you make an offer. The challenge here is that sometimes you need to find temporary housing, short-term rental. The good news is there are several strategies that we can employ to mitigate that. We can make your sale contingent on finding a suitable home, write an offer contingent on selling your home, or negotiate a post-closing occupancy or rent back. See, contracts are designed to be negotiated, and when both parties agree on the terms, it often opens the door for creative solutions. The next really important question I often get asked about is marketing. And honestly, marketing is something you cannot afford to underestimate. In my opinion, professional photography is the backbone of real estate marketing. Think about it. We've all looked through the MLS and we see that dark, cluttered photo. Did that photo compel you to go see the home? Usually not. Great marketing starts with clean, bright, professional photography that stops someone from scrolling, because those photos are the first introduction to your home. And that first impression matters. From there, those images are used to create maximum exposure, not just on the MLS, but across multiple platforms: social media, real estate search portals, local networking, and targeted advertising. The goal is simple: The more exposure your home gets, the more buyers walk through the door. And that exposure works best when marketing speaks directly to the right buyer. For example, a Sartell Rambler, a Sauk Rapids split entry, and a South St. Cloud investment property all attract different types of buyers. So the marketing strategy should reflect that. And of course, one of the most important conversations we have is about pricing. All the marketing in the world won't help if the home is positioned at the wrong price point. Buyers in different price ranges have very different expectations. A custom home with upgrades is not the same as a starter home, and each needs to be positioned correctly in the market. When pricing is done well, it attracts the right buyers, which often leads to cleaner and stronger offers. But when a home is priced too high, it can become market worn, it will sit on longer, loses momentum, and often ends up selling for less than it might have if it had been priced strategically to begin with. And finally, sellers often ask about what happens when I start getting offers. In many cases, your first offer can be one of your strongest offers. Of course, there are exceptions, especially when multiple offers are involved. But the goal of negotiating a purchase agreement is simple. It ensures that both buyer and seller clearly understand the terms before moving forward. Those terms include things like price, timeline, inspections, financing, appraisals, and any agreed to repairs. Good negotiations protect your financial interest, clarify expectations, and help move everyone toward the closing table with fewer or no surprises. And that's exactly what we want. Before we wrap this up, I'd love to hear from you. If you were preparing to sell your home, what would be the biggest question on your mind right now? Is it timing, pricing, or figuring out where you'd move to next? Let me know in the comments. Your answers might help someone else who's thinking about selling as well. Selling a home is more than just a transaction. It's often part of a larger life transition, whether you're upsizing, downsizing, relocating, or simply moving into the next chapter. And like many things in life, the best outcomes usually come from having the right plan and the right guidance along the way. If you're starting to think about selling, preparing to move, or simply want to explore your options, I'd be happy to have a conversation. You can always reach out. And if you found this video helpful, feel free to like, subscribe, and follow along for more insights about living, buying, and selling right here in St. Cloud. Until next time, make it a great day here in Minnesota.